What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another daily deck tech video. And today we are gonna, get back to the Secrets of Strixhaven Legendary Dragons for some Commander deck techs here. We will have some of the non-dragon deck techs once the pre-release comes out, but today's will be a little bit more of a budget, coming in at about $130. And this is Silverquill the Disputant. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, who is Silverquill the Disputant? It's a 4/4 for 4, flying vigilance, and then each instant and sorcery spell that you cast has casualty 1. Now, what's casualty 1? As you cast that spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater. Then, when you do, copy the spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Seems pretty spiffy, if I don't say so myself. And you can go a lot of different routes with this deck, right? It really wants you to do some Aristocrats things while playing some spells, and you could go big mana with it. But you know what? We're in Orsov, and I really like interaction, so we're gonna be copying a whole bunch of our interaction spells while generating a lot of tokens to help us get there. So, how are we gonna do this and execute this game plan? Well, we have a whole bunch of classics in here. We have 16 creatures, which is a little bit on the low end, but you'll see why. We have Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. She is a classic, absolute classic. A star 4 for 3, vigilance, and when her power is equal to the number of creatures you control, so she gets bigger the more tokens and things like that you create. Whenever you attack for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. So, you attack with her at the player who does not have the thing that can kill the Adeline straight up, and then you go ahead and you crash in, getting a bunch of tokens. We have a Cruel Celebrant, so whenever it or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and you life. Not too bad. We're going to be making a lot of tokens in this deck, so that is one way to do this. We have Daxos, so whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. And its toughness is equal to your devotion to white, so he becomes a big beefy. Well, Denethor, Ruling Steward. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. This is a great way to replace any of your losses that you've had during your turn. And then you can pay 2 and sacrifice another creature to have each opponent lose a life, and you gain a life. We have Doomed Traveler. When it dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So he's a little dorky dude that you're going to sacrifice to your Silverquill, and then it's going to give you his ghost, who you're also going to sacrifice to the Silverquill to do fun things. Mirkwood Bats. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses life. Monastery Mentor, Prowess. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with Prowess. Now, we're going to be playing a whole bunch of removal and draw instants and sorceries, which we want to copy, so we will sacrifice a token, and, playing the original copy of this spell will generate us another one, which allows us then to replace what we already had, and that's pretty good. We have ourselves a Morbid Opportunist, which is whenever 1 or more creatures die, you draw a card. It triggers only once each turn. That's very important. We have Ophiomancer. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch. Great way to replace some of your tokens, and overall just a very fun little card. There is also one that makes zombies as well that I didn't throw in here, but you can absolutely do so. We have Pitiless Plunder. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure. This is awesome because you're going to be generating value off of sacrificing your tokens to copy your spells anyway, and getting yourself some treasures off of them is just delicious. We have Reassembling Skeleton. You return him from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and you know what? He's gonna die. 1,000 deaths is what he's going to do. Absolutely. We have no love for killing our little skeleton boy here, but he is going to make that sacrifice for us. We have Sedgemoor Witch. Menace, ward, pay 3 life, so it essentially doesn't even have ward in Commander. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. This card is pretty nutty in this deck, right? So you say sacrifice your reassembling skeleton for like a Vindicate. You get 2 Vindicates, so you're going to get 2 black pest creature tokens, which then generates you 2 cards that you can sacrifice to do more spells, which will then get you more, and they each gain you, these little pests gain you a life when they die, so lots and lots of value here. We have the Sad Robot. Sad Robot here is to get us a land when he comes into play, and then he is going to make the ultimate sacrifice to copy one of our spells and draw us an extra card when doing so. We have Teysa Karlov. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, and creature tokens you control have vigilance and life, which is always good. It would appear that my daughter is very upset at my wife upstairs. We have Thalise, Reverent Medium, a 3/4 for 5. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 white soul human white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Which, you know, gets you a whole lot of value because we're going to be sacrificing stuff for spells, hopefully casting multiple spells per turn. We have Zulaport Cutthroat in here, so whenever another creature, whenever it or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. Alright, now for some of our spells. So, you know what? Copying Army of the Damned sounds like a good time. Yes, it costs 8, but you know what? Kill off 1 spirit token, get yourself 26 black zombies. Sounds really, really strong, and that is absolutely something that we're going to be aiming to do here, and then overrunning our opponents with that. We have Hop to It, which will create you 3 rabbits or 6 rabbits if you have something to sacrifice. Lingering Souls will, you know, we're just going to assume we have something to sacrifice for each of these. It will let you create 4 spirits, and it has flashback. We have Night's Whisper, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. We have Shadow Summoning. You know, you get to create multiple tapped white spirit creature tokens. Sign in Blood. Nothing like being able to lose 4 life, but draw 4 cards, and then probably gain that life back from having like Daxos or something like that in play. We have United Front. Please don't try to copy your X spells. It doesn't work right. So, but United Front does give us this. Create X 1/1 white ally creature tokens and put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. I absolutely love this card. I think it is a highly underrated card from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's a good X casting cost spell. It gets you a whole bunch of tokens for you, and it's essentially like a mini overrun effect, right? So say you've got a bunch of tokens on the board and you want to start bringing in the beats, you're going to give them all 1/1 counters. Vindicate. Destroy target permanent, aka destroy 2 target permanents. Or instants. This is where we really load it up. We're running 30 instants. We have Anguish Unmaking, exiles a non-land permanent, you lose 3 life. Benevolent Offering, choose an opponent. You and that player each create 3 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, so you get to create 6 if you have this. Choose an opponent, you gain 2 life for each creature you control, and that player gains 2 life for each creature they control. We have Call the Coppercoats. Strive. This spell costs 2 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X 1/1 white human creature tokens, where X is the number of creatures your opponents control. Corrupted Conviction. Sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. Pretty good. Deadly Dispute. Sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, create a treasure. Despark. Exiles a permanent with mana value 4 or greater. Spell the Profane. Destroys target creature or planeswalker. It also can be a land. Fracture. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Generous Gift. Also kills a creature. Mortify does the same thing. And of course we have Path to Exile in here. We have Murder. Swords to Plowshares. We have Stroke of Midnight. Tragic Slip. Oh yes, friends. I put like everything in here. Utter End is in here. Vanishing Verse. So those are our removal spells. Back up here we have Grand Crescendo, kind of like United Front, puts a whole bunch of tokens into play. This is at instant speed, so do it at the end of your opponent's turn. Kaya's Guide, choose 2, each opponent sacks a creature, so more removal. Exile all cards from each opponent's graveyards. Create a 1/1 white black spirit creature token, or you gain 4 life. You can also entwine. If you entwine, you get to choose all the modes. Moogle's Valor, also an underrated card. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Pretty strong. Raise the Alarm, puts out some little dudes. Rootborn Defenses. Populate, which lets you make a copy of a token you control. And then creatures you control gain indestructible. It's a creature token, by the way. Indestructible until end of turn. Secure the Waste. Dumps a bunch of dudes out there. We have ourselves Silverquill Charm, which puts 2/1/1 counters on a creature. Exile a creature of power 2 or less, or each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. Pretty good overall. Unbreakable Formation makes your stuff indestructible. If you play it during your main phase, put a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures and they gain Vigilance until end of turn. We have ourselves Will of the Mardu, which is choose one if you control a commander. As you cast this spell, you can choose both. Create a number of 1/1 red warrior creature tokens equal to the number of creatures target controls. And Will the Mardu deals damage to target creature equal to the number. So it's both removal and gets you some dudes. Sorry about the coughing. I am sick, friends. I'm getting over a cold that my daughter brought home from daycare. Such is the life of going to daycare. We have Village Rites, sack a creature, draw cards. Also, that art goes hard. And then your temple is under attack. Pray for protection. Creatures you control gain indestructible until turn. And strike a deal. You and target opponent each draw 2 cards. Artifacts. We do have Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots to protect our Silverquill. We have Skull Clamp to eat some tokens to draw some cards. For enchantments, we do have Bastion of Remembrance. When it enters, you create a 1/1. And then whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. Black Market, so whenever a creature dies, you put a charge counter on it, and you get to add a black during your pre-combat main phase for each charge counter. Dreadhorde Invasion and Skrelv's Hive to have budget versions of Bitter Blossom. Hidden Stockpile, which is Revolt. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, so we're sacrificing tokens, right? Create a 1/1 colorless Servo artifact creature token, and then you pay 1, sacrifice a creature, and by 1. We have Tolls of War, which is when this creature enters, create a clue token, and whenever you sacrifice a permanent during your turn, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. This ability triggers turn. One thing that you could sub in here, I just don't because I hate the math behind it, is Cathar's Crusade. You can drop anything in this deck to put in. For lands, we have Castle Ardenvale. It comes into play untapped as long as you can planes. You can tap to put a 1/1 human into play. We have Delcoven Encampment, which, whenever you attack this turn, create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, and they die at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. We have Realm of Kull, who lets you put a 1/1 spirit into play that can't block or be blocked. We have Rogue's Passage in here. We have Vault of the Archangel. Creatures you control gain death and lifelink. It's a good way to get people to not block you. Dudes. A land that I would add in here, if you want to, is Abandoned Air Temple, which taps to put a counter on each creature you control. Pretty fun overall. But let me know what you think of the deck build, and we will hop over to the starting hands. And boom, here we are. Again, I don't know why it cuts off. I honestly think it's because my monitor is this extra one monitor. But as you can see here, here's our first starting opening hand. We have Silverquill Charm, Plains, Obscura, Storefront, Mirkwood Bats, Anguished Unmaking, Vault of Arcane Swamp. So we do have a little token dude. We have ourselves some lands. You'll play your Obscura right off the bat. Get a Plains or Swamp, whichever you so choose. And starting on turn 2, we have ourselves some removal. So that's not bad. We are going to give us a new hand. All right, so here we have Corrupted Conviction. We have our Reassembling Skeleton. So right off the bat, we have Reassembling Skeleton, which we can play on turn 2, right? And we also have Lightning Greaves to protect our Silverquill, but you could, right off the bat on turn 3, sacrifice this to draw 2 cards, which, you know what, we'll draw for that, yeah. But we get another hand here. Swamp. This one's a little rough because we don't have colored mana in here. We can take our first turn, which does get us this. So we could, if say we're not first, we can play this, reveal this swamp from our hands, then turn 2, turn 2 play Cruel Celebrant. Turn 3 we drop. We draw some cards here. Turn 3. I'll drop this down. In turn 3, I would put down Swiftfoot Boots. Turn 4, I would not drop my Silverquill yet. I'd drop down the command tower. I would drop down my Skellington. The reason I wouldn't drop down my Silverquill is you want to have enough mana to equip Swiftfoot Boots to it right off the bat. And that will, of course, be our turn 5. Turn 5, we drop a Swamp. We drop Silverquill. We put Boots on the Silverquill. And then we start doing magical Christmas land things starting in our next turn. So in our next turn, we can go ahead and, let's see here. We could Vindicate something. We could Vanish Verse something. Pretty fun. We'll do one more hand. In this opening hand, we have ourselves the Sedgemoor Witch, which is pretty strong, right? We are starting with 2 lands in open hand, which is a little interesting, but, ooh, yeah, that would be a little rough. So, our turn 1, turn 2. So this is a little worse with the lands. We are running 38 in here. And then we have this, so we can drop this as a land, this is a land, this is a land. Not bad overall, plus you can drop your Squirrel's Hive down. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon. If you want to see your commander made into a deck tech, drop it in the comments down below. And if you think that I'm doing a good job, feel free to subscribe. We're at about 1,500 now, which is pretty sweet. Since starting in June, we're going for that slow and steady growth here. Maybe someday we'll hit, 10,000. That's the lifetime goal of the channel. But as always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.